You're cutting carbs, you're exercising like the doctor said, you think you're doing everything right. So why aren't your numbers moving? Here's the truth that you need to know. If you're struggling with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or diabetes, you're probably making at least one of 5 mistakes. 5, and no one told you. Today, we're going to work on fixing that. I'm Ken, nutrition coach and wellness preacher, and I love to work with people who, like myself, needed to reverse insulin resistance. No fluff, no confusion, so you can take your life back without living on rabbit food and white-knuckling cravings all the time. Be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with our coaching at Healthy Together and Feeling Great. Here's mistake number 1, and that is cutting all the carbs. This is a panic move, and I get it. You hear insulin resistance, carb spike, blood sugar, carbs must be the enemy. You research the internet. Everybody says, go low carb, go keto, go carnivore. So you go ultra low carb and you jump into it. And what happens? You get exhausted. You didn't have a plan. You miss the food that you enjoy. You wind up craving and binging, and then you quit and you felt guilty. Insulin resistance is not a carb problem. It's part, but it's not the whole. It's an insulin problem. They do go hand in hand. The goal isn't about 0 carbs. The goal is a controlled insulin response. I know, I've been there. You need to know your carb threshold, not somebody else's. Some people can handle 100 grams a day. Others need 20, 30, maybe 40 or 50. What we want to do is we want to eat in the right order. Meal sequencing, fiber, proteins, healthy fats, and put the carbs at the end of the meal. That's how you're going to blunt that spike. You don't need elimination, you need a plan. You need a strategy, and this is where we start. Mistake number 2 is obsessing over weight loss. This one drives me crazy. I know, because I felt that the first time a doctor said I needed to lose weight. Yes, losing visceral fat does improve insulin sensitivity, but insulin resistance, prediabetes and diabetes, is metabolic dysfunction. It's not just a weight loss issue, and all of the problems with insulin resistance relate to that. You can lose weight and still have unstable glucose. You don't fix insulin resistance by starving. You fix it by stabilizing. We start, if you're having breakfast, with a savory breakfast, protein in the morning. We do time-based eating. We walk after meals. We get sleep, good sleep, 7 to 9 hours if we can get it in, and we lower stress. We focus on metabolic markers as well. We have stable fasting glucose. We have fewer crashes. We have better energy at 3 p.m. and less belly fat over time. Weight loss is a byproduct, not an obsession. Mistake number 3 is not tracking glucose. We don't have to be obsessive about this either, but you wouldn't run a business without taking time to look at the numbers. You wouldn't do that with your taxes either. But people try to reverse insulin resistance without ever checking glucose. That's guessing. Even checking fasting glucose a few times a week gives you insight. Better yet, get a continuous glucose monitor or a CGM if that is what's going to work for you. When you see what a meal actually does to you, everything starts to change. What you can see, you can change. Data isn't something to be obsessive about, but it can be empowering. Insulin resistance thrives in the dark. Shine a light on it. Mistake number 4 is thinking exercise only counts if it's intense. You don't need to do punishing workouts. We're not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. For insulin resistance, one of the most powerful tools is simple: a 10-minute walk after a meal. Your muscles act like a sponge. They're going to pull glucose out of the bloodstream. That's going to lower insulin demands. There's zone 2 movement, which is to speed things up a little bit. Brisk walking, light cycling, or a couple of things. Maybe some hardcore house chores might be in order. That's going to improve metabolic flexibility as well. Consistency beats intensity. If you move after meals every day, you will see change. If you're finding this helpful, make sure that you subscribe and like, and make sure you're paying attention to the other videos that I have in here that are going to help with reversing insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, and any of the other signs of insulin resistance. Now, mistake number 5 is trying to do this all alone. That's a tempting thing to do, but insulin resistance can be confusing. The internet is loud, And the advice that you've gotten from a doctor may not be very easy to understand, if they gave you some at all. Most people quit because they don't have clarity or accountability. You need a plan. You need feedback. You need support. That's fixable, but it does require intention. And that's what we're about here at Healthy Together and Feeling Great. So let me recap. Don't eliminate all carbs. Find your threshold. Stop worshiping the scale. Fix metabolism. Track your glucose and stop guessing. Walk after meals because consistency wins. Get support and don't isolate. Insulin resistance, prediabetes, and diabetes is reversible. I know I've done it and I've helped other people do it, but only if you address the root, not just the symptoms. If this helps you and you have found this to be something that's a little bit more enlightening and want to connect, make sure that you subscribe. Because the sooner you control insulin, the sooner insulin stops controlling you in your life.